Hi. Now then, I keep getting marks on my plates when they get a bit too thin. It happens a lot with my bowls, but it really happens with plates. You can see that kind of woven pattern there. It's rather beautiful in its way, but it's irregular and it makes the workpiece look not so good. Usually, I would have taken those marks out using a 2-inch cone-shaped sanding pad with a foam backing on it, but I've lost that. I've still got all the discs, but I've lost it. So I went on eBay looking for a replacement, and this is what I got. It costs, I think, £5.99 at the moment, just about £6 British. This came, I don't think it actually came all the way from China, but it's marked Shenzhen. They must have a UK place though, because it's only about a week since I ordered it. That's turned up nicely, so there must be a UK warehouse. Unfortunately, it's not very flexible at all. I hoped it would be rather a lot more flexible than that, but it's taken quite a lot of effort to squash it. But let's see if I can mount it in something to use it as a shear sander and see what it'll do. And just as I'm looking for something to mount it in, I noticed that this arbor comes off very, very easily. That's actually a 3mm shank, which is a bit on the thin side to grip in any kind of drill chuck. And this actually looks like about a 5mm thread on the outside of it that's on this thing. So there's some possibilities. There's also what must be about a 7mm or maybe even 8mm outside part of that shank. No, that's not 8mm, is it? Much less than that, maybe 1/4 of an inch or so. I don't know, I haven't got any calipers to measure it with, but it's possible that I could chop this thin bit off the end and mount it in a chuck. I'm going to have a dig round in the workshop and see what I can find. It's very hard to get the right shear angle on this, so I really think I'm going to have to make something. I think also, actually, I might possibly do away with this arbor because I don't think that's helping either. Okay, let's see what we've got. We've got a stick with a hole in it for one thing. Now then, it's taking a good push, but I want it fairly tight because I want it to spin freely and work like a shear sander. But I want it very tight to begin with because it'll get hot and that'll burnish the inside of the hole, and this might last a while. It won't last long, but it should get a job or two done. Right, let's line it up with the plate and see where we get. Right, I'll try and do this without getting in the way of myself too much. Easy to see, but I can just about make it out in the viewfinder. There's just a little tearing still left there, but generally speaking, it's making a lovely job of this plate now in no time at all. It's basically doing the job of a shear sander, and the main thing about those is, unless you actually use a drill powered one, which I don't because it gets too hot, the closer you get the thing, well, I'll show you, the closer you get the thing to the middle, the slower it wants to go. And then for some mad reason to do with circles and mathematics or something that I certainly don't understand, if you go down a bit, it sort of works better. And you've always got to keep the pressure on this side of the pad as well, because that way the pressure against this is constantly trying to do the screw up. If you lean it on that side, then it's constantly trying to undo the screw, and it doesn't take long at the speeds it reaches there. So it goes very slow in the middle, and it's apt to burn a bit at the outside, so I tend to lay off the pressure a wee bit there. But I'm delighted with the way it's gone. We've got a real nice grain pattern on here now, very few scratches in it. I'm going to have to do some more, but tomorrow I think we will do a 5-minute video on finishing this. That is it for this review of this sander thingy. I will put a link to it in the description. I feel myself that the abrasives they've sent with it are really pretty good. My favourite abrasives for these are the Hermes PSF silicone paper. Because it's very good at cutting, and it's very open as well. The dust just falls out of it. But you know, these are okay for free, or for £6 if you don't think that's worth anything. And I think this is a pretty good pad actually. It's becoming more flexible as I've used it. Generally speaking, a good deal. I think it's worth it. I think I'm going to put a link in the description. I'm not getting paid to say this, by the way. If you look at my channel views, you'll see I'm not in the league of getting paid for things just yet, but I think it's a great buy. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Bye.